Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be painting this little mini quilt that I call Gossip Girls. And this little series of chicken mini quilts are watercolor on fabric. And I'm going to walk you through how I do it. I have a piece of natural colored muslin. We're going to go ahead and give that a press nice and flat and get out all of those wrinkles. The next thing I'm going to do is bond a piece of Heat and Bond Light to the back side of this piece of fabric. I'm going to try to set you up for the best success painting watercolors on fabric. Does this work like watercolors on watercolor paper? No. Trim away all the extra fabric up into the Heat and Bond Light. But the way I'm going to show you how to prep everything is going to give you what I feel like is the best success and the closest thing to watercolors on paper. Once that's nice and cooled down, go ahead and score that paper part of the Heat and Bond and remove that. And you'll see I'm working on a silicone mat to keep my desk clean, and I have a piece of packing tape. I'm going to remove all the lint from the good side of this fabric. Believe it or not, you can't see it with your eyes, but there is lots of lint on your fabric. And it works best if you take all that lint off. The next thing we're going to do to prep this fabric is to use a solution of fabric medium diluted with water. I'd say it's about 30% fabric medium and 70% water. And I'm going to just brush on a nice even coat across my fabric and let it dry. This will not be super stiff, but it'll give the closest thing to working on watercolor paper as I have found, and I have experimented with lots of stuff. So we're just going to do a nice thin even coat of this watered down fabric medium and let that completely dry. Once it's dry, I took a template that Harlan cut for me, and he cut this at 4.5 by 6.5. and a pencil, and I'm going to trace around my template. You could use a ruler or any quilting ruler that you have, and we're going to prep our watercolors with some water. This just starts to loosen up the pigment and gets all those paints ready to go. Let that sit off to the side for a minute. Once they've been sitting there, we're going to come in with some color. Now, you'll notice down in the bottom left corner, I'm going to put all the colors that I'm using today so that if you want to recreate this yourself, you could use the same colors. I like finding all kinds of stuff to use in my watercolor or my paintings, and so I found a little lid, a cap to a water bottle, and I dipped that in the blue paint and formed the shape of my sun. Now we're going to start painting in the sky, and you'll notice that I'm not doing a solid brush of color. I'm leaving some unpainted parts because that's going to be where our clouds go. And my sky, I would like it to go from darkest up at the top and a gradual fade down towards the bottom. So as I'm going down towards the bottom, I'm adding more and more water to my brush and really diluting that blue paint. Then I can always come back in with more blue and add it back towards the top. Now, the nature of water on fabric is that the fabric wicks that water. So I find that the more you do this, the more you get a feel for what's going to happen when you put water on your brush and touch it to the fabric. But one of the beauty parts of doing the Heat and Bond Light on the back side and the light coat of fabric medium is things like this. I can take a paper towel and lift off some of that color. It doesn't exactly brighten it up like it would with watercolor paper, but you do get a lot more lifting if you prep the fabric the way that I've done in this video. Now I'm going to come in with a little bit of white on my brush while all of this is still wet and brighten up the cloud areas. And because that blue is still wet, it's going to mix in with the white I'm adding to my brush and blend the outer edges of the clouds. And because I'm not using a bright white fabric to start with, I want to add a little bit of white into the sun area. We're going to let this dry completely. You could use a hair dryer or a heat tool like I like to do to speed things up. Now we're going to come in with some yellow ochre, and we're going to paint in 4 blobs towards the bottom. Not exactly on the bottom, because we're going to add some fabric down towards the bottom. But I'm using a smaller round brush and just doing blobs of yellow paint. The background is completely dry, and I have a good amount of water and paint on my brush. Because the background is dry, the edges of the chickens are going to pretty much stay where I want them to stay. And then I'm going to come in with some red. And you'll notice I'm only adding that to the left sides of my chicken. And then some darker red, some scarlet, towards the right of my chicken. I'm still letting that yellow ochre shine through, and I'm not painting in solid blocks of color, just here and there. And while that yellow ochre base of that blob is still wet, the color just sort of bleeds into one another and pretty much does the work for you. And while this is still wet, I'm going to come in with some burnt umber down towards the bottoms of my chickens and right underneath the heads of the chicken. No definite shapes. You don't have to know how to paint or draw a chicken. These are just shapes. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow ochre to the sun. And with some water on my brush, just spread that out around the sun area. We're going to let that completely dry, and then I want to brighten up my chickens just a little bit. So I'm bringing in a warm yellow and just adding that here and there, staying towards the middle of these shapes. I'm also going to add a little bit of that warm yellow over top of my sun. What I love about this is, you're going to let all this dry. Now we're going to play a game. I'm going to add a little bit of crimson to a fine little brush. We're going to add the tops of our chicken, the comb of our chicken, and the wobbles of our chickens. But I want you to pay attention to the shapes of your blobs at this point. The chicken on the far left looks like it's looking towards the right, and so does the next one. And then this chicken here, if I look at it, it kind of looks like it's looking towards the left. The first 2 chickens are looking to the right, the third chicken's looking to the left, and so is the last one. So we're going to add little wobbles and little combs. And then I'm going to come in with some raw umber and just add a little tiny beak. This is just a thin little pointy triangle and little dots for the eye. Now this paint is not super watery. It's a little bit thickened up at this point. And we're going to just draw 2 little lines for the legs. And I think this is super adorable. Just every which way. Now you're going to let everything dry. While it's drying, I'm going to come in and define the shapes of the cloud just a little bit. The sky area is completely dry, so I'm adding some white paint to my brush and really coming in and giving some more defined cloud shapes. And then adding a small amount of water to my brush, I'm going to soften the bottom edges of these clouds. With watercolor, there's a lot of painting and waiting for it to dry. If you were to do all of this while everything is still wet, you'd get no defined shapes. Everything would bleed into everything else. Now once everything is dry, I'm going to go ahead and bring in a thin layer of warm and natural batting. Remember that heat and bond on the back side of the fabric we started with? I'm just going to bond this little quilt right to my heat and bond light, or to my batting, with a hot iron. And I have 2 scraps of green fabric. We're going to fold them over like this and add them towards the bottom. But first, let's bring this over to the sewing machine. What I love about this is the watercolor is super easy to sew through. So I'm going to use my free motion foot. I have some black bobbin thread down underneath in the bobbin and some black embroidery thread up on the top. And you're going to see I am not trying to be exact around the shapes of the chicken. Matter of fact, I think the more loose and free you do this, the more character it gives the whole piece, right? So you'll see there's lots of spaces around the chicken where I'm not right on the lines. And this will quilt your little mini quilt and give it a nice little dimension and just another layer of interest. So I'm going around the chicken's body, around the comb up at the top, and down their little legs. Now I'm just jumping from one chicken to the next. And then I'm going to go up and stitch around the sun with the same black thread. You don't have to use black. You could swap out colors, whatever you want on your quilt. But I kind of like the look of the black thread. I wouldn't say it looks like a color book page, but to me, it's just sort of my style. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm just going to freehand a couple of little birds flying in the sky. You go down like a little M, and in the middle of the M, there's a tiny little nugget like that. I don't know what to call that. Now, once we've stitched the bird, the sun, and the birds, the sun, and the chickens, I'm going to remove all of these jump stitches, and I'm going to switch that free motion foot to my regular pressing foot. I'm going to bring in the first green scrap, and I'm going to fold it over, and I'm going to do a straight stitch, not right on that fold. I'd say about 1/4 of an inch down, and I'm not doing a straight line. I'm sort of just doing a wonky back and forth, and I'm going to quilt a couple lines just like that. And then I'm going to bring in another color of green and do the same thing, but lower this one down just a little bit. Come away from that folded edge some and do your first line, and then do another line of quilting. So now I'm going to take that little template and I'm going to square everything up. So my little quilt is going to measure 4.5 by 6.5. This is the same template I used to trim my sublimated photos for my orders. And now I'm going to take a pair of snips, and that little folded flap on the grass area, I'm going to snip. I'm going to snip and snip lots of little snips, and this is going to be our grass. I think this is adorable. It's just going to add one more layer of texture and interest to this little piece. I'll go down on that second green fabric and snip that edge as well. Then I'm going to rough it up with my fingers. We're going to add some Aleene's tacky glue to the back. Oh, nope. Hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to bring this back, and there's all kinds of decorative stitches you could do in your sewing machine, right? But on this one, I'm going to keep it super simple and basic and just do a zigzag stitch. I did not write down my settings, but you can experiment on some scraps until you get a zigzag stitch that looks great for you. So yeah, once we do this, I'm going to glue it down on the front of a blank card. And this size fits perfect in a little picture frame. Once you gift it as a card, someone can actually frame it and save it. And I think this is so much fun. Just letting you know, I'm going to be changing the format on my videos. We're going to be meeting as a premiere. And then if you watch on the replays, the videos will not be as long and sticking pretty much to the point of the video to keep your interest. And I think YouTube seems to like that right now. And so that's going to be the format here on my channel for the unforeseeable future. So make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification if you like catching me when this premieres, because I'm in the live chat talking to everybody. But yeah, don't you just love the idea of this little mini quilt? No more quilt kits for me for a while. No more big quilts for me for a while. This is pretty much my jam. And I love that I can do this in an hour or two in an afternoon and end up with something finished that is super adorable. Okay, everybody. I hope you love this. Look at this is my very first one. And then this is my second one. And then the one that we did together today. I love this. I hope you do too. And we'll see you all really soon. Bye.
Has come to stay. Rooster calls in the old Florida creeks. Love lives on in the friends we meet. One more square